This is Steffen Schmidt for InsiderIowa.com. This is the week of the royal wedding. Many of us have watched parts of it. Some of us have watched all of it. I know people who got up very early in the morning and made their coffee and sat and watched the whole thing. But one aspect that I wanted to talk about, I've been visiting with a lot of people, both on email and personally, and what keeps coming up, it keeps getting repeated, is that they found it so interesting that the United Kingdom has a symbol of the nation, a symbol of the history, a symbol of the traditions and the values of the people of the UK and of the British Empire in the form of the royal family and ceremonies such as a royal wedding. It is not political. The Queen and the royal family stay out of politics. They represent the people of England, whether it's with a Tory conservative government or a Labour government. They do not themselves engage in politics. And the contrast with the United States, I think, on a day like that, when there is this royal wedding, is dramatic. Everybody in the country, except a few people who don't like the monarchy, rallied around this event. People were wearing flags of England. They were waving them. They were smiling. They were lining up and sleeping on the floor in front of the cathedral where the wedding took place. And there was no sign of the division that exists in the country, even though there is a big division between the Labour Party's views on issues and their policies and the current conservative coalition. And we have nothing like that in the United States. The President of the United States once was seen as a symbol of the country and was more or less respected by everyone, even if you disagreed with the President. The exception perhaps was President Roosevelt, whom conservatives didn't like very much. But we now have no place that we can rally around in this time of tremendous internal soul-searching, trying to find a way out of a national recession, trying to find a way to overcome a budget deficit and other big problems, because we are totally politicized. And we don't have a symbol of our country that is in the form of a royal family and the institutions that come with it around which we can rally. The American flag may be the only thing, but the American flag is not a substitute for something as substantial as the royal household and all of the traditions that come with that. And I think a lot of people lamented the fact that we don't have a national symbol like that. That even the Statue of Liberty, which everyone used to be able to agree on, has become divisive. A lot of people who are opposed to immigration view it as a sign of what is wrong with this country, that we want the poor and the huddled masses of the world to come here to the United States and take advantage of our schools and welfare and generally undermine the principles of the United States. So the Statue of Liberty has no longer has that unifying symbol that it had for all the past decades that I can remember. And this is something I think that is very dangerous, because we can't simply march forward deeply divided between conservatives and liberals, Democrats and Republicans, and solve the problems that we have in front of us. And I think the royal wedding accentuated that, and in some respects at least made it even more obvious that we have got some really serious problems, and those problems are that essentially we don't have anything around which we all want to rally. It used to be that wars did that. We're engaged in at least two major wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and now in Libya, but I don't see Americans using those to rally around and to sort of exemplify or to express their patriotism, which is sometimes a form of finding national unity. And so I come away from the royal wedding in addition to how elegant it was and how interesting it was, with a great deal of sadness that we in the United States really at this point don't have a rallying point around which we can all collect and on which we can all agree. This is Steffen Schmidt doing a royal wedding analysis from a political perspective for InsiderIowa.com.